I now invite Mr. B.D. Borkar, former President of People's Party of India Democratic, to deliver his address.
अब मैं पीपल्स पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया के पूर्व अध्यक्ष श्री बीडी बोरकर से सभा को संबोधित करने का अनुरोध करती हूँ।
Respected Honorable Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Honorable Justice Ishwaraya, Honorable Justice Yadav, Mr. Wilson, Member Parliament Rajya Sabha, other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I am extremely thankful to the organizers and especially Justice Ishwaraya having given me an opportunity to put forth my views in this conference. I am presenting my views on behalf of my party, the People's Party of India Democratic. Our party is a nascent 4 years old, but an all India party having offices in about 12 states and working under the fully Ambedkarite ideology, which is nothing but the constitutional ideology. The nation should be governed by the constitution, which is a collective will and resolve of the people of this country that we shall provide justice, social, economic and political, and of course, equality of opportunity and status and liberty of thoughts and expression. We, the Mool Nivasi, Bahujan, still stand by that solemn resolution in the Constituent Assembly. But the so-called Savarnas have disowned that resolution and gone back to make this country a Hindu Rashtra, against which Dr. Ambedkar has cautioned. He said, and I quote, "If Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt be the greatest calamity for this country. No matter what the Hindus say, Hinduism is menace to liberty, equality, and fraternity. On that count, it is incompatible with democracy. Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost." When we, through our constitution, resolve to provide justice, it means distributive justice. It also means the resources of the nation should be equitably distributed to the peoples of this nation. How can it be done without collection of data of a different caste through census? This is the popular demand of the Mool Nivasi Bahujan Samaj, which constitutes 90% population of this country. Only a handful of Brahminical forces who have disowned the solemn resolution adopted by the constitution are opposing the popular demand of caste census. What more can be expected from these creatures? They are the selfish lot who do not want to share the resources of the state because they will be losers and will not be allowed to amass the wealth of the nation. Whom to blame and from whom to demand the caste census? We are demanding it from those who are determined not to do it. They have filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court to that effect. We also cannot expect from the Supreme Court, because their kith and kin are sitting in the Supreme Court to protect their class interests. Dr. Ambedkar, in the preface of his book, Who Were the Shudras, OBCs, and How Have They Come to be Fourth Varna in the Indo-Aryan society, said, when someone has a courage to raise his voice against the so-called sacred books of Hindus, eminent Hindus who could be expected to have no interest and to have free and open mind becomes partisan and join the outcry. Even Hindu judges of the high courts and the prime ministers of Indian states do not hesitate to join their kind. In such a situation, what we have in our hand to get the census carried. Leave aside the justice, the distributive justice. Dr. Ambedkar was aware that such a situation shall come despite the provisions made in the constitution. While exhorting his lieutenants, he said, the rights which I have provided in the constitution, that will be for a limited period. When these rights vanish, what we shall have to depend upon is our organization, our unity, and our strength. Do we have any strength? Do we have any power? Having 90% population numerically, how can we say we have no strength? We have no power. We have power, not in our hands, but on the fingertips of our hand, which Dr. Ambedkar laboriously earned for us from British in 1930 and incorporated in our constitution through Article 326 of the Constitution. What have we done with it? We have given this power in the hands of our enemies for the last 72 years and even continue to hope that they will use this power for our rights, for our betterment. I feel we are leading a life of illusion. Sooner we realize it is better for us We must use that power and dethrone our enemy and capture the political power and use that power for our rights, for our betterment. Another important point is that if we have to fight RSS and its cohort, then we have to understand one thing. In this book itself, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar proved that we are not the Shudras of Indo-Aryan society. That is why in the title of the book itself, he said, how have they come to be fourth Varna of Indo-Aryan society? It means that the OBCs who are identified by Brahminical social order as the Shudras are not the Shudras of Indo-Aryan society, and by corollary are not the Hindus which RSS claims them to be. We are different people, the original inhabitants, Mool Nivasi of this land. This awakening is required on large scale among OBC. Unless we distinguish ourselves from the Hindus of RSS, which are only Savarnas, we cannot fight them. There is no point to beat around the bush. To conclude, we have to fight RSS, BJP, not only politically by constitutional means, but socially by sociological means. Jai Bhim, Jai Mool Nivasi, Jai Samvidhan, Jai Bharat. Thank you.